This is the Late Round Podcast with your host, JJ Zachariason.
What's up, everyone? It's JJ Zachariason, and this is episode 768 of the Late Round Fantasy Football Podcast, sponsored by FanDuel. Thanks for tuning in. Last week, I decided to take another look at the impact that mobile quarterbacks have on their teammates. Today, I'm revisiting another topic. It's one that I studied a couple of off seasons ago, and that's the impact that rookie quarterbacks have on their teammates. This is one that I've wanted to go back to for a little while. I just wasn't a huge fan of how the last study all came together. The research itself could have been a little bit more thorough and a little bit more thoughtful. I think the numbers that I'm about to share with you today are way more interesting, and they tell us a better story. The very simple question I'm analyzing here is, how do rookie quarterbacks impact their teammates in fantasy football? Are running backs who have rookie quarterbacks under center better or worse for fantasy purposes? What about wide receivers and tight ends? I think intuitively, we'd imagine pass catchers maybe being a little bit worse with a rookie quarterback, because rookie quarterbacks aren't as good as other quarterbacks are. But maybe that wouldn't be the case, since rookie quarterbacks tend to be players who are good at football in general, right? How often are we seeing random quarterbacks starting games as rookies? It's typically first-round picks, the early first-round picks. Those are the guys getting snaps under center as rookies. So maybe there's no impact at all. I'll get to all of that on today's show. Now, before digging into the numbers, I'm going to send another reminder to check out the guides over on lateround.com. You've got the prospect guide to help with your rookie drafts, and you've got the draft guide that's available for pre-order. The draft guide is there to help you with your season-long drafts. In it, I talk about the things that I look for when I draft. I give players to target and avoid in your drafts this year. I offer up my top 200 rankings and so much more. It's $19.99 to pre-order, and when it launches on June 30th, that's going to go to $24.99. So check it out now over on lateround.com. So similar to the mobile quarterback study, I needed a way to define this whole entire thing. We know what a rookie quarterback is. It's a quarterback who's playing his first NFL season. But how should we define a team who's being led by a rookie quarterback? Like, Deshaun Watson played 7 games as a rookie. He started 6 of them. He threw the ball 204 times that season. But he didn't lead the Texans in pass attempts that year. Tom Savage did. So it wouldn't really make sense to categorize that Texans team as a team who had a rookie quarterback. The players on that team, they caught passes from a non-rookie more than they caught passes from a rookie. So I decided to do the same thing that I did with the mobile quarterback study. I looked at all quarterbacks since 2011 who led their teams in pass attempts and filtered that out by including only players with 10 or more games played. So they played the majority of the season, and they were the player who played the most at quarterback for their team. Now, unlike that mobile quarterback study, bucketing these players is much more straightforward. I just need to see which ones were rookies and which ones weren't rookies. And when doing this, I got 37 rookie quarterbacks. So 37 first-year quarterbacks since 2011 fit the criteria that I just laid out. My goal from here was to basically see how these rookie quarterbacks teams did in fantasy points scored. How did the team running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends do? How did that compare to the non-rookies? And then from there, I'm going to dig into the individual players on those teams too, because I think it helps tell the story even better. I promise you, if this doesn't make sense right now, it will make sense in literally 30 seconds. So since 2011, we've got 37 quarterbacks in our rookie quarterback sample. When looking at those rookie quarterbacks teams, they ended up ranking on average 19.4 in pass attempts. Now keep in mind, there's 32 teams in the NFL. The average pass attempt rank across the league in a given season would be 16.5. So these rookie quarterbacks are leading teams that rank 19.5 in pass attempts. Meaning these teams with rookie quarterbacks are a lot more run heavy than the ordinary team. Meanwhile, their pass rates, they ranked over 18th. Again, below average. Now, if you listen to the mobile quarterback study from last week, which you should, then you know where this is probably going. When teams have less volume, the pass catchers on those teams are going to struggle. And that's what we see with rookie quarterbacks. Within our rookie quarterback sample, the average team wide receiver rank in fantasy points scored has been 21.9. So essentially, on average, a rookie quarterback's team wide receivers are ranking 22nd in fantasy points scored in a given season. That's in PPR scoring for the record. It's not like rookie quarterbacks are targeting wide receivers at some terribly low rate. Wide receiver target share ranks 16.6. That's almost directly in line with the average. And it's the exact same story at tight end. The average team tight end rank in fantasy points scored for rookie quarterbacks has been 20th. But their target shares, they're not a whole lot different when you have a rookie quarterback under center. So at a high level, we see that rookie quarterbacks aren't really supporting their pass catchers well at all. In fact, these numbers are worse than what we saw with mobile quarterbacks from last week. Now, the last position to look at here is running back. And at running back, they do struggle with rookie quarterbacks, but it's not as much as what we see with wide receiver and tight end. Team running backs who have rookie quarterbacks, they've had an average fantasy points scored rank of 19.2 since 2011. So they're better than wide receiver and tight end from that perspective. And what's interesting is that running backs with rookie quarterbacks, they tend to see slightly higher target shares. They've ranked 16th in positional target share through the years, whereas all other quarterbacks are at 16.6. So it's not a huge difference, but it's the one position where target shares are higher. Now, we could stop there and say that you might want to be cautious about skill position players who are playing alongside rookie quarterbacks. And spoiler alert, that's definitely the high-level conclusion of this episode. But when you take those team-level numbers and you dig into the individual level, things become even more obvious. So like I just talked through, each position in fantasy football ends up scoring less when a rookie quarterback is playing the majority of his team snaps in a given season. So that will naturally have a domino effect on the individual players on that team. In our sample of rookie quarterbacks, the average top wide receiver on one of their teams has ranked as the wide receiver 35 in points per game through the years. Meaning if you looked at a random rookie quarterback's team since 2011, his top wide receiver would be expected to rank as wide receiver 35 in PPR points per game, or a low-end wide receiver 3. And that's among wide receivers who played at least 8 games in the season. For the non-rookie quarterback teams, which is a massive sample, that rank is roughly wide receiver 20, wide receiver 21. At tight end, the average top tight end for a rookie quarterback's team is tight end 23. It's tight end 17 to 18 for a non-rookie quarterback. Breaking this down in a different way, you can look at how frequently rookie quarterbacks have wide receivers ranking as wide receiver 1s and wide receiver 2s, or top 12 and top 24 wide receivers in points per game. Since 2011, the top wide receiver on a rookie quarterback's team has been a wide receiver 1, a top 12 wide receiver in points per game at just an 8.1% rate. The top wide receiver being a wide receiver 1 on a non-rookie quarterback's team, that's happened at a 36.2% rate. For a top 24 wide receiver season, it's the same deal. Rookie quarterbacks have at least one top 24 wide receiver at a 29.7% rate. So fewer than 30% of rookie quarterback teams have even given us a wide receiver 2 or better. That number shoots up to almost 66% for non-rookie quarterbacks. At tight end, since you're starting fewer of them, you can do this same analysis but looking at top 6 and top 12 players at the position. Rookie quarterbacks are giving us a top 6 tight end season at a 5% rate. It's 21% for non-rookie quarterbacks. Top 12 tight ends, they're happening at a 16% rate for rookies. It's 41% for the non-rookies. I mean, those are some pretty insane numbers. Like absolutely bonkers. Only 3 rookie quarterbacks since 2011 have had a wide receiver with a top 12 season in PPR points per game. Those 3 wideouts were Keenan Allen in 2020 with Justin Herbert, where he was the wide receiver 6 in points per game, Percy Harvin when he was the wide receiver 10 in 2011 with Christian Ponder, and Reggie Wayne was the wide receiver 11 with Andrew Luck. Keenan Allen had a 27% target share per game rate that year. Percy Harvin's was 24%, but he also had 51 carries. It wouldn't have been close to a wide receiver 1 without those touches on the ground. Reggie Wayne ended up seeing a 31.6% target share that season with rookie Andrew Luck. He had 195 targets, and he's still ranked as just the wide receiver 11 in points per game. So not only did the 2 traditional wide receivers in Reggie Wayne and Keenan Allen need a very, very good rookie quarterback in Andrew Luck and Justin Herbert, but they also needed incredibly high target shares to even sniff being a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. It's actually frightening to see how bad pass catchers tend to do with rookie quarterbacks. Now with running back, the numbers aren't nearly as bad, thankfully. The average top running back from a rookie quarterback's team in our sample ranked as RB21. That was RB18 for the non-quarterbacks. So not a huge difference, even though team running backs, they do tend to score a good number of points more for non-rookie quarterback teams. Running backs rank in the top 12 at a 35% rate for rookie quarterbacks, and it's a 38% rate for non-rookie quarterbacks. The top 24 rates are 62% and 71%. Now, there could be some noise in that data in that rookie quarterbacks just ended up landing in spots with bell cow running backs. But it loosely lines up with the team level data, in that running backs tend to not be impacted as much by rookie quarterbacks compared to wide receivers and tight ends. Now, rather than just leaving it at that, I do think there's one more layer to all of this, and that's seeing if this actually matters a whole lot when you're drafting. If the market is already accounting for this, then you don't necessarily need to be aggressive in avoiding these players. Now, I've been keeping track of ADP since 2011 thanks to my fantasy league's data. And given that, I've been able to put together a formula that gives me expected fantasy points for every draft slot at each position. Essentially, if a wide receiver, let's say, gets picked 50th overall, how many points would we expect him to score in points per game? If a wide receiver then plays above that points per game expectation, then he exceeded his draft slot. He beat ADP. If he plays below that, then he didn't. So if this rookie quarterback stuff is a big deal, then wide receivers on those teams with rookie quarterbacks would consistently be playing below expectation. And the same holds true at running back and tight end. Turns out there's some merit to all of this. Let's start with running backs. We already know that running backs seem to be impacted less by rookie quarterbacks than wide receivers and tight ends. And the market shows this too. But there's still an edge to be found. I looked at all running backs drafted in the top 100 overall since 2011 who had a rookie quarterback. And then the remaining top 100 running backs didn't have a rookie quarterback. So again, these are guys drafted mostly in the single-digit rounds of a 12-team league. Clearly, far more running backs didn't have rookie quarterbacks. But we still have a decent-sized sample of backs with rookies under center. Of the running backs with a rookie quarterback, 46% of them were able to exceed expectation. They outperformed their average draft position. On the flip side, that number was 51% for the running backs with non-rookie quarterbacks. So running backs without rookie quarterbacks are doing better versus expectation. Now, for anyone who read last year's draft guide or who just listened to this show, you might remember the concept of moderate and true breakouts. A moderate breakout is when a player outperforms his ADP expectation by 3 or more PPR points per game. A true breakout is when a player does that by 6 or more points per game. Running backs drafted in the top 100 overall without rookie quarterbacks have been moderate breakouts at a 3% better rate than the running backs with rookies. So they are a little bit better. But then get this. There's never been a running back drafted in the top 100 who's been a true breakout with a rookie quarterback. But nearly 9% of running backs in the top 100 with non-rookie quarterbacks were true breakouts. To put that another way, the players who are far exceeding expectation during the most important parts of your fantasy draft, the top rounds, they've been solely from teams without rookie quarterbacks all the way back since 2011. And for the record, all of this holds true and stays steady when strictly focused on top 60 picks, or running backs who are drafted in the first 5 rounds of a 12-team league. And these numbers stay steady with wide receiver and tight end too, whether you're specifically looking at the top 60 or the top 100. Of all the wide receivers and all the tight ends drafted in the top 100 since 2011, and remember, this is a top 100 overall, none of them have been a true breakout when they're associated with a rookie quarterback. Not one. And of course, the moderate breakout rates, they're still better for non-rookie quarterbacks as well. So what this means is that not only does this raw data tell us that players with rookie quarterbacks perform worse than the alternative, but the actual market shows this as well. And that piece is arguably more important. It means that from an ADP perspective, players truly are overrated when they're attached to a rookie quarterback at every single position. And by the way, if you're curious about this exact same exercise with the mobile quarterback study, I sent a newsletter out to late round fantasy football subscribers last week about it. If you missed it, if you're not subscribed to that newsletter, you can find it on lateround.com in the newsletter archive. But make sure that you're subscribed to it. It's totally free. But in all, when you look at all this data, it seems pretty clear. Players do worse in fantasy football when they're playing alongside a rookie quarterback. Not just in terms of raw data, but also compared to how the market drafts. This is something you can exploit in the single-digit rounds of your fantasy drafts. So you should probably do that. That's it for today's show, though. Thanks to all of you for listening. If you get subscribed to the Late Round Fantasy Football Podcast, make sure you are by searching for it pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter @LateRoundQB. Appreciate you all listening. I'll talk to you later in the week with the Mailbag Show.